My dear, the day I meet someone richer, I'll still miss the way your poverty felt like home. You had wealth, but never offered depth. I never needed money, I needed meaning. Your richness was loud, your soul was silent. I was starving beside someone who could feed nations. Love without presence is spiritual poverty. You owned things, I held space. You bought time but gave none of yourself. Rich hands can still drop sacred hearts. You looked expensive, but felt empty. I wasn't drawn to your wealth, I was haunted by your absence. They might offer gold, but I mourned your silence. You wore success like perfume, strong, but fleeting. I craved connection, you gave possessions. I wanted presence, not presentation. You invested in everything except me. I was luxury to a soul who never knew value. Even the richest can't afford real love. You had everything, except the courage to love. I fell in love with a stranger dressed in status. I watched you count money while I counted moments. You built empires while I collapsed quietly beside you. Your pockets were full, your heart bankrupt. You looked abundant, but I was the gift. I was your peace, you chose pride. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. You bought luxury, but never gave love. I was never impressed, I was in pain. They can have your wealth, I survived your silence. You owned rooms but never stayed in mine. I was never jealous, just tired of feeling unseen. You wore success to cover your shame. I needed a listener, not a provider. You fed my body, but starved my soul. I gave warmth, you gave Wi-Fi. You upgraded your lifestyle, not your love. I craved intimacy, you offered reservations. You hid behind the glimmer of things. The richest moment was the silence after you left. I felt lonelier in your mansion than in my solitude. I was whole, you mistook me for a project. You turned love into a luxury brand. I didn't need diamonds, I needed truth. They can't buy what I gave for free. Your ego was loud, your love, whisper thin. They'll admire your wealth, I survived your absence. Your success never impressed my wounds. I stayed for connection, you stayed for control. You never loved me, you leased me. I wasn't cheap, I was priceless, you couldn't afford me. You loved attention, I loved you. Your power dimmed the moment I stopped needing it. You replaced me fast, but I left slow. They want your money, I wanted your healing. You dressed up well, but never showed up. I craved eye contact, you offered receipts. You were rich in noise, poor in presence. I was rare, you were temporary. I healed without luxury. They see your car, I see your ghost. You wanted control, I offered connection. You talked big, but stayed small. Your wallet was heavy, your love was light. I watched you pour wine and stay emotionally sober. You took me out, never in. You mastered buying, not building. I gave you soul, you returned surface. You filled rooms but emptied hearts. I wasn't intimidated, I was invisible. You had wealth, I had wisdom. They love your status, I survived your silence. You built walls from bills, I broke trying to climb them. I missed you beside chandeliers. You took selfies, I took damage. They envy your life, I endured your love. You paid for dinners, I begged for depth. I was art, you needed an accessory. You were loud in public, quiet where it mattered. They see glamour, I remember grief. You posted me, I poured into you. You taught me that money can't mend silence. You were a moment, I was a mirror. I didn't need more, I needed real. You sold a dream, I loved a lie. They're drawn to your shine, I survived your shadows. You didn't lose me, I left unpaid.